On October 3, 2024, Iran launched a series of ballistic missiles targeting Israel. This aggressive action marks a significant escalation in the long-standing conflict between the two nations. The missiles, launched from Iranian territory, were aimed at strategic locations within Israel. Among the reported targets were military bases and government facilities. The attacks have triggered widespread fear and condemnation. The missile attacks are believed to be in retaliation for recent events in the region. Tensions have been particularly high following a series of Israeli airstrikes on suspected Iranian-linked targets in Syria. Additionally, Iran has accused Israel of carrying out covert operations within its borders. This latest development threatens to ignite a wider conflict in the Middle East. The international community is watching the situation closely, concerned about the potential for further escalation. Preliminary reports suggest that Iran used a combination of short-range and medium-range ballistic missiles. Among the types of missiles believed to have been used are the Fateh 110 and the Qiam-1. These missiles are capable of carrying significant explosive payloads and have a range that allows them to strike deep within Israeli territory. The Fateh 110, with a range of approximately 300 kilometers, is known for its accuracy. It has been used by Iran in previous conflicts, including attacks on U.S. bases in Iraq. The Qiam-1, with an estimated range of 800 kilometers, is a more advanced missile. It is designed to be launched from mobile platforms, making it difficult to detect and intercept. The use of these sophisticated weapon systems highlights the growing military capabilities of Iran. It also underscores the serious nature of the threat that Iran poses to Israel. As of this report, the full extent of the damage and casualties from the missile attacks is still being assessed. Israeli authorities have confirmed that several missiles were intercepted by the country's Iron Dome defense system. However, there are reports of impacts in both urban and rural areas. Emergency services are responding to the attacks, treating the wounded and searching for survivors. The Israeli government has declared a state of emergency in affected areas. Citizens have been urged to remain in bomb shelters and follow safety instructions. The psychological impact of the attacks is also significant. The strikes have shattered a period of relative calm and have left Israelis feeling vulnerable and on edge. Section 4. International condemnation and fear of war treaty. The international community has swiftly condemned Iran's missile attacks on Israel. The United States, a staunch ally of Israel, has issued a strong statement denouncing the aggression. European leaders have expressed serious concerns about the escalation of violence and called for restraint from both sides. The attacks have also sparked fears of a wider conflagration in the Middle East, potentially drawing in global powers and leading to a World War III scenario. This fear is fueled by the complex geopolitical landscape of the region, where multiple actors with competing interests and alliances are involved. The situation is further complicated by the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, which has already strained relations between Russia and the West. The possibility of a multi-front conflict with the Middle East as another flashpoint is a grave concern for the international community. Section 5. Historical context, a cycle of violence. The current crisis between Iran and Israel is rooted in a long and bitter history of conflict. The two nations have been locked in a cycle of violence for decades, fueled by territorial disputes, ideological differences, and proxy wars. Iran does not recognize Israel's right to exist and has provided support to Palestinian militant groups like Hamas and Hezbollah. Israel, for its part, views Iran as an existential threat due to its nuclear ambitions and support for groups that target Israel. This has led to a series of confrontations, including covert operations, assassinations, and cyber attacks. The two countries have also been engaged in a shadow war in Syria, where Iran has been supporting the regime of Bashar al-Assad. Israel has carried out numerous airstrikes in Syria targeting Iranian-linked facilities and personnel, aiming to prevent the transfer of advanced weapons to Hezbollah in Lebanon. Section 6. The need for diplomacy and de-escalation. As the world grapples with the implications of Iran's missile attacks on Israel, the urgent need for diplomacy and de-escalation cannot be overstated. The international community must engage in concerted efforts to prevent the situation from spiraling further out of control. Dialogue, however difficult, is the only viable path to resolving the underlying issues that fuel the conflict. This requires all parties to exercise restraint, avoid provocative actions, and engage in good faith negotiations. The international community should leverage all available diplomatic channels to facilitate dialogue and mediation between Iran and Israel. This includes working with regional partners, such as Egypt and Jordan, who have a vested interest in maintaining stability in the Middle East.